Chris Hitchell here, and welcome again to another one of my movie reviews. And today I'm going to be reviewing Solo, a Star Wars story, the latest Star Wars spin-off, focusing on, of course, on the young Han Solo, how he met Chewbacca, the origins behind the Millennium Falcon, how he got it, and all that good jazz. And where to start with this movie? Because man, there's been a shit ton of controversy about this movie. If you followed its production, the production was a mess with firing the directors halfway through, and then the movie marketing got started so late on it before we started even got a trailer, and then even the posters, there was some controversy around that, some copyrights or plagiarism that happened with the posters. So much controversy, but the movie's finally here. I don't know how they did it, but it ended up meeting the release date they had for it, original release date, here in May. And how to talk about the movie? Well, oh boy, let's start off with the good. And the good, surprisingly, is the casting and the performances. A lot of people were worried about how Alden Ehrenreich was going to be as Han Solo, because Harrison Ford just absolutely nailed that role. That's why Han Solo was such a great character, because of what Ford brought to it. And look, is this kid the perfect ideal casting for Han Solo? No. Especially even given where the story takes place, which is not too far in front of A New Hope, years-wise anyways. But I thought he did a pretty decent job. I thought he was fine. Like, he was not the problem with the movie. I thought he pulled off the mannerisms fine. The acting was fine. He was a decent Han Solo. No Ford, but no one's ever going to be Ford. But this guy's Han Solo, he was fine. He was good. And the rest of the cast is pretty good. Kira, played by Emilia Clarke, she was good. I liked her. Woody Harrelson was good in his role. The guy who steals the show, of course, is old Childish Gambino as Lando Calrissian. He was just great. I love just the he pulled off the look great, the mannerisms, the voice. He was a lot of fun to watch. So I loved Lando in this one, and it made me want to change my costume for Halloween this year. Instead of Black Panther, maybe I'll do Lando because I love Lando in this movie. He was just a cool MF in this movie. So that was good stuff also. So the performances are really good. The characters not so much. The characters themselves, they don't really evolve a lot throughout the movie. Not a ton of development. They sort of like play to who they are, especially the ones we already know, like Han Solo, Lando, and all that stuff. But overall, the performances were pretty good in this movie. And the movie, there's some fun to be had throughout. Like, I thought there was some fun set pieces. The train set piece that you see in the movie, that was pretty solid, or pretty fun. There's some decent battles here and there, some decent shootouts where you're like, okay, I'm having some fun. The stuff that they do with the Millennium Falcon, the scenes that it has, its chase scenes, that's good, decent stuff. So yeah, this movie, it's not a total disaster throughout it. In fact, I was talking to my friends who I was watching this movie. I was turning to them throughout it, being like, you know what, this movie is it's not so bad. It's okay. But here's the thing. Sort of a philosophy I have with movies a lot of time is that the ending of your movie, mainly your final act, can either make or break your movie. It happens all the time where sort of a subpar movie can be saved by like a great final act, and where a good movie can be sort of ruined by just sort of a lackluster final act. And I'm not sure if I would call this a good movie throughout. I mean, I think it was a solid movie throughout. But you get to this final act, and to me, it just does not work at all. To me, this movie ends on just such a whimper. Just like this final act that they throw at us, it's so underwhelming. It's so unexciting. It's so like not Star Wars. I get this is a solo movie, a Han Solo movie, and it wants to be something different. But still, your ending, it's got to have more umph. You got to have more of a punch. This ending that they have, it's so like it's so lackluster. I mean, the movie thinks it's being so clever with some of the surprises it's supposedly throwing at you, being like, "Ooh, isn't this clever?" And it's like, no, it's not. This is lame. And you'll get to sort of the ending of this movie, and you'll just be thinking, "Oh God, that's not that was so underwhelming." And to me, with the way it ended, this movie, it ended up feeling like really short, like just like whoa. And like I said, I think you have to sort of maybe adjust your expectations because this is not obviously an episodic Star Wars film. But still, I don't know what it was about this movie. It ended up feeling really short, and I was all like, this movie needs another act or something, just like a better ending. Just because this the end the what they had just did not work for me at all, and the movie just ended up feeling just kind of unnecessary. I'm not someone who's riding this wave of hate for Disney Star Wars. I've enjoyed the previous three movies that Disney's put out for them. They haven't been perfect, but I thought they've been pretty, really, actually, really good movies for the most part. I'll get into more on that in maybe another video. This movie, I was hoping for the best, but in the end, it just because of how that final act ended up turning out, and just the fact that it's not like this was a great movie throughout. There was some fun elements here and there, but overall, just not that special of a movie. Nothing all that memorable. So for my score, unfortunately, with how I felt coming out, I got to go a 5.5 out of 10, which means I can't really recommend it all that much. I think if you really want to see it, I would honestly say just rent it. It's really not worth it seeing it in the theaters just because there's not one element that's going to make you say wow. And to me, that's when you go to the theaters. If there's something that makes you say, wow, that was really special. And for a Star Wars film not to do that, that's unfortunate because the things that I thought would be a problem with this movie, like Han Solo himself, he was fine. I just wish the movie around him was a lot more memorable. So yeah, really unfortunate 5.5. So there's the score. And at the time I'm recording this, it seems like this movie, it looks like it's going to underperform at the box office this weekend. It looks like it's going to be coming in maybe at about in the 110s, 110 million or something like that. I think that I don't know if that's for the 3 day or the 4 day weekend, including Memorial Day. If that is for the 4 day, including Memorial Day, whoa. Yeah, this movie definitely is underperforming then. And I'm not surprised just because I don't think there's a whole lot to recommend about this movie. There's really nothing there's nothing worth doing a spoiler review for because honestly, even the surprises they try and throw in there, it's just like, who cares? I just didn't care. And I really enjoy Star Wars. I want to see it succeed, but this movie didn't really do it for me all that much, and that's a shame because I was rooting for it. And I thought the trailers were pretty decent. And if Disney's not careful, it looks like people are going to end up tiring on Star Wars pretty soon if they haven't already, given how the reaction to The Last Jedi turned out. But that's enough rambling. As for Solo itself, like I said, 5.5 out of 10. Hope y'all enjoyed this review, and I will see y'all around with another video.